Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah Nation.
Shalom, 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 Yasharal and Yahudah, grafted in Gentile, and to the body of Mashiach, listening to Hezekiah, the song entitled Love. Yahuah has loved us so much so that he gave us Yahusha Ha'Mashiach to be the propitiation for our sins. He gave Yahusha as the mediator of a new covenant. He has sworn and will not repent that Yahusha is a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Yahuah, after Yahusha had completed the work of this so great a Yeshua, sat him down as his right hand. Yahuah said unto Yahusha, sit thou at my right hand until I make thine enemies thy footstool. He has purchased our Yeshua. He has taken his blood into the holies of holies, in the Shamayim, where Yahuah Abba Father met him and declared that he was pleased. He was satisfied eternally with those who would receive Yahusha's witness in Emunah. They would be a part of the nation of Yasharal. Listen, Yahuah has done what we needed in Yahusha Ha'Mashiach to establish us in this relationship with him. Yahuah, I give you praise for this Besorah, this Torah of truth. I pray that you would take the reins of my lips and the reins of my tongue and reign. I pray that by your Ruach Ha'Qodesh you would speak to this your people, these who you have chosen to receive this witness, Hebrew and Gentile alike. Yahuah, I pray that they would receive this Besorah, this Torah of truth, and that they would be established in this witness, that they would be filled with your Ruach HaQodesh, that they would go forth in the witness, declaring the kingdom of Yahuah has come. In the name of Yahusha Ha'Mashiach, I pray that no one would be turned out of the way. No one would come up lame. No one would stumble at the words that come forth. Yahuah, I pray in the name of Yahusha Ha'Mashiach that your people would understand this witness and receive it. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuah, my strength and my redeemer. Listen, man of Yah, woman of Yah, called to greatness. Woman of Yahuah, beautifully and wonderfully made. Yahuah has a word for you today, right? We've been in Romans. We are going into the 5th chapter of Romans. And Yahuah has demonstrated that he is interested only in your Emunah, in the witness of Yahusha Ha'Mashiach, and in that Emunah of the witness of Yahusha Ha'Mashiach, he is going to forgive you of all your sins. He is going to provide you with the vehicle method of return. You will be established in him if you by Emunah receive this witness. You are awakened. You know you are Hebrews. Your next step is the quickening. You must receive the witness of Yahusha Ha'Mashiach, the blood, the water, and the Ruach HaQodesh. You must be established in this, and then, and only then, are you the children of Yahuah. To Hebrews, the Yahudim first, and to the other nations, the Gentiles. Because listen, bro. Yahuah has chose Yaakov, his firstborn son, right? But his firstborn son has to be reborn. His firstborn son has to be reborn because he cannot be established in the Torah alone. He has to have a method of forgiveness. He has to have something that's going to be offered that Yahuah will be satisfied with. That is the blood of Yahusha. There is no return, right? So the nation has to be born again. Oh, yeah. The firstborn son has to be born again. That's why Yahuah came to Yahudim first. He came to his people first, right? Because they were his firstborn, right? He has a covenant with them. One that has been written in the ROMAIYM, that's recorded already. One in which he had to remain true to because his Torah is true. Yeah, right? So he's made a method of return for you through faith in Yahushua Ha'Mashiach's witness. Right? You have to receive the atoning blood of Yahusha in order to be born again into this family of Yahuah that has been sealed with circumcision, but now have become sealed with the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, which will establish you in this kingdom. Yahuwah's kingdom. Right? And there's no other way except through Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. You have to have the witness. And Paul was teaching the Yahudim and the Gentiles in Romans. He was instructing them as they were trying to dissuade or persuade the Gentiles who have received the witness of Yahusha into having to be circumcised. You know, and the church, the assemblies in Yahudim, in Jerusalem, had already settled that with with Paul, right? Already settled that with the Gentiles, but you still got these persistent Torah-only people who believe that they're going to receive their Yeshua and keeping Torah only, and they're deceived because you can't keep Torah only. And every time you violate Torah, you can't just say, Yahuwah, forgive me. In Torah, you have to have a sacrifice. There has to be the shedding of blood, right? Because you just can't just say, Yahuwah, forgive me, and not come with a sacrifice. So you have to recognize that Yeshua is in Yahusha. Paul was trying to get the Gentiles to understand, the Yahudim to understand that they ain't better. Yeah, Yahuwah has given advantage to you because he's given you his oracles. He gave Yaakov the Shabbat, and with that, the Torah, the commandments. He's given them. This is their oral history, their traditions. This Torah, this Besorah is ours. It's a record of us and Yahuwah's relationship with his people, and his relationship with his people as it relates to the world. Listen, you have to understand that, listen, Yahuwah has established a people, right? A people that he has called, but a people who have to receive his witness, the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, in order to remain a people, right? Without witness of Yahushua Hamashiach, yeah, you Hebrews, but you wicked. You yet in your sins, right? You yet in your sins. You know, you won't come to Yahuwah and say, look, Yahuwah, didn't I do this? Didn't I do that? I never knew you. You haven't received the witness of Yahushua Hamashiach. You haven't received the witness. You haven't turned. You have to turn. And Paul was preaching to the Yahudim, and he was preaching to the Gentiles. Listen. It's a benefit to being the children of Yahuwah. But at the end of the day, you have to have emunah. The children of Yasharal and Yehuda have to have emunah to be established as Yahuwah's people. And you have to receive his witness in order to be established as one that has been grafted in, one that's been adopted into the family. We are Yahuwah's firstborn. We belong to him. But as a Gentile, you have to be adopted. You have to be grafted in. It doesn't matter. You still in the family, right? Doesn't mean you got to be Yahudim. It don't mean you got to dress like the Hebrew. You got to have a name like the Hebrews. That ain't what that wasn't what Yahuah was doing. Yahuah was like, listen, you a Gentile, just receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. And like, and just keep his Torah. Keep his Torah. Keep his Torah. Obey Yahuwah's laws, statutes, and commandments. Walk in his witness. Be established as his people. That's all you have to do. Right? But even the Yahudim, right, who are Torah people, only Torah people, they don't want to bring you in. They don't want to include you. They wrong. They ain't received Yeshua. They haven't received the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. They don't understand that the witness requires inclusion. The witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach requires inclusion. It's not a witness, a testimony of exclusion. He ain't to the Yahudim, Yashua and Yehuda only. No, dummy. No. Dimwit. No. Yahuah is for who? Yahusha is for whosoever will. Yahusha is for whoever receives the witness. Jews and Gentiles, Yahudim and non-Yahudim. Yahuah is interested in those whom he has chosen. Listen, you ain't got no control over what Yahushua chooses. You ain't got no control over what Yahuah chooses. You don't. And listen, I'm gonna tell you something, right? This is fact. Yahuwah's gonna bring them in and keep you out because you won't receive the witness. Oh yeah. You ain't gonna receive the witness. You ain't gonna receive the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Yeah, you ain't, right? You ain't. See, Yahuah gave you the Torah. He gave you the Torah. He gave you his law, statutes, and commandments, right? He gave you what you needed, right? But you couldn't keep it. You wouldn't keep it, right? Because of your sin consciousness, right? Right? And as a result, there came a penalty because he chose you as a people. He dealt harshly with you as a people, right? Because you were given his law, statutes, and commandments, and you didn't regard them. Yeah, your ancestors did, right? Yeah, your ancestors violated Yahuwah's commandments miserably. Yeah, they violated them miserably, and even at the point in which Yahusha was bearing the sins or was being physically accosted, hit and struck, and crowns of thorns, and the Pharisees and the Sadducees and all the people was crying to have him crucified, and declaring that let the blood be upon us and our children. Yeah, that's why you are in the position that you are in, right? But Yahuah, because he has a written covenant with you in his ROMAIYM, is going to send Yahusha to you first, right? He's going to give you an opportunity first to receive the witness, right? But he ain't going to just be exclusive to you. No, because you demonstrated that you was no better than the Gentiles. So because you were no better than the Gentiles, why should Yahuah withhold this Yeshua from the Gentiles? You were no better. Oh, no, you were no better. I'm going to tell you, Ezekiel 36 says, Ezekiel 36 and 23 says, I will sanctify my great name, which was profaned amongst the heathen. The heathen profaned Yahuwah's name, right? Which ye have profaned in the midst of them, and you profaned his name first, before him, to heathens. You profaned his name before the heathens. You don't deserve no more than they do. Yeshua, salvation is through faith in the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. You have to receive the witness, the water, the blood, and the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, right? You have to, right? See, the Gentiles don't even understand the need of the priesthood. They don't, that was not even for them. That priesthood, that whole priesthood thing was not even in their equation, right? All they knew is that there was this man who was the son of Yahuah, who promised to forgive them of their sins and to cleanse them of unrighteousness and to establish them as his people and have a place prepared for them, a kingdom. Because they didn't like where they were at. They didn't like what was happening. They made a change. They had no idea about no priesthood. Right? Right? They didn't know nothing about the order of Melchizedek. They didn't understand that. That priesthood after the order of Melchizedek was for us. Because we understood that you had to have a priest that was necessary to go before Yahuah on behalf of the people with an offering, to sprinkle blood on the altar. Listen, the Gentiles didn't have this concept, right? They didn't have circumcision, right? They didn't have the outward seal. What was an outward seal to a people that Yahuah didn't have a covenant with, right? Right? But see, our people became special. They began to believe that the Torah was saving them. And the Torah can't save you. It can only judge you. The Torah can only bring wrath. Remember, you done got yourself all twisted up believing that you Torah keepers. You better go back and realize that you got to come to the Torah every time you transgress. Somebody's got to come up with an offering. Someone's got to find a high priest. Somebody got to find a high priest that has a tabernacle that Yahuah has pitched. The man pitched that Yahuah gave him the instructions to pitch. With the outer court and an inner court and the holies of holies. Yeah, you got to have that. Then you got to have a priest that could go into it, right? That Yahuah has chosen, right? That was for us. Yahusha being a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek was for us. For us first. Because we should have been able to identify the relationship with the priesthood in Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. We should have been able to identify culturally, and our forefathers did. The ones that received Yahusha's witness understood. The ones who just wanted to rebel and wanted to hang on to Torah and Moshe and the Aaron priesthood, yeah, they was knuckleheads and they were lost. Right? They're not of the family of Yahuah. Listen, you got to understand, man, Yahuah is no respecter of person. Yes, I am a Hebrew. Yes, I've been circumcised. I have the seal of Yahuah in my flesh. Yeah. I've received the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. I know that I'm from the lineage of Yahudah. I know my ancestors are. Listen, I know where my people are. But that alone is not going to establish me in Yahuwah's kingdom. I have to be sealed with the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Yeah, because I got to have a new seal now. Right? The old seal is a seal that I have to have because it's something that Yahuah had said that as a people we were to do throughout our generations. But the bottom line is that I have to be sealed with the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. That seal in the flesh seals me as Yahudim, right? But that seal of the Ruach Ha'Qodesh seals me in the family of Yahuah. Yeah, because you could be Yahudim and not be in the family of Yahuah. Yeah. Point example, you people who hold on to Torah only and Yah only. Yeah, Tanakh only. Yeah. You who don't receive the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. Yeah, the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, or you who receive Yahushua, but you say he's Yosef's son. Yeah, you got you too. yeah, you're going to be lost. Listen, we're in Romans 5. You have to realize this witness. You got to understand that Yahuah has come to Yahudah and Yasharal first. This Basora was to us first. Yeah. We had to receive the high priest after the order of Melchizedek. We had to receive the Lamb of Yahuah that taketh away the sin of the world. We had to receive the fact that he went into Sheol and took the keys of death, hell. He took the keys of death and hell, right? He established his dominion forever. He went into the holies of holies as the high priest, offered up his blood in the holies of holies. And Yahuah was right there standing. You know, because Yahuah used to visit the holies of holies that was made by man's hands. He let his presence, glory come down there. Right? But see, when Yahusha went into the tabernacle of the Most High, because, you know, the tabernacle on earth was made after the tabernacle of the Most High, which means the tabernacle of the Most High has always been there, waiting for the one sacrifice that would set right everything in the earth. Those who would receive the witness, right? That would establish Yahuwah's presence in the earth, the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, and those who would receive the witness. They would be a part of his kingdom, right? It didn't matter who you were. It's to Yahudim first, and to the other nations among whom Yahuwah has chosen. I'm just grateful, right? I'm grateful that Yahuwah chose me, right? Chose me to recognize that I'm a Hebrew of Hebrews, that I'm of the tribe of Yehudah, that I am Yaakov Yahudah Gaal. Yahuwah has given given me the guardianship of his Torah. He has made me an avenger, a redeemer of my kinsmen. Not because I lay down my life as a sacrifice for sin, but because I present to them the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, who has done it once and for all, and he's established it in ROMAIYM. And my job is to get the witness out. My job. And everybody who's received Yahushua's witness, that's your job. Don't matter if you Jew or Greek or Hebrew or Gentile. That's the objective. Objective. Hey, it's the objective. All right, let's go. The result of being justified. Right? Therefore, being justified, which means that Yahuwah looks at you just as if you have not sinned. And this is by faith. We are justified by faith. Emunah. You have to believe that Yahuwah looks at you as if you have never sinned. Let's look at that word justified. Right? That word justified in the Greek is
Strong's G 1344. Dikaiao.
Dikaiao, right? It means to render righteous, or such he ought to be. To show, exhibit, invite one to be righteous, such as he is. Now, righteous, right, is the act of having been righteous, right? Righteous is the act of having been. Let's do this. Let me do this. Let me do it this way. Justified, right? Let me see if I got that word. 1344. 1344. Right? It means to, it's the Strong's Hebrew is 6,663, right? It is a verb. It is tadak, or sadak, TSA-DAQ, right? Be steadfast, to walk on the right path without losing your way. Yahuah, through faith in Yahusha, has put us on the right path without losing our way. You were once dead in your trespasses and sins, but now, because you don't have the sin nature no more, you won't lose your way. Because you have received the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach and Emunah, you are justified. You are put on the way of right, and you won't lose your way, right? As long as you continue in the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, established and fixed and enduring until the end, right? Yahuwah has made you justified. You just like you had never sinned. See, because he cleanses your consciousness of sin through faith in Hamashiach. You have to understand that to be justified can only occur through Yahushua Hamashiach. That's why you can't just say you woke and you just obey in Torah. No, you can't. You have to be justified. You have to have something take care of that sin, that penalty, that sin that you have, that you continue to have, because the Torah is just going to reveal your sin. It's not going to establish you in righteousness. It is the blood atonement that forgives you of sin, that establishes you in righteousness, that gives you the capacity to keep the Torah. Yeah. He says, therefore being justified by Emunah, it's the same Emunah that Abraham had, right? The same Emunah. Let's look at this again real quick. And this is how we say it, right? Right? This is Abraham. The Emunah, right, of Abraham. As it is written, I have made thee the father of many nations, according to whom he had Emunah, right? Even Elohiym, who quickeneth, he gives life to the dead, and calleth those things to be not as though they were. That's what Yahuwah does, right? Because he did it in us. Abraham was convinced that he could have done it with him, with Yitzhak. He was convinced, right? Who against hope believed in hope that he might become the father of many nations. He knew that Yahuwah said that he was going to be the father of many nations. He changed his name from Abram to Abraham. That sealed the deal, right? Right? And he called Abraham, right? And then he circumcised him and sealed it, right? Right? Listen. Who against hope believed in hope that he might become the father of many nations according to that which was spoken, so shall thy seed be. That's Romans, the 14th, the 18th verse. Romans 4:18, 4th chapter, 18th verse, right? Then he says, Abraham, right, being not weak in Emunah, right, he didn't consider his own body when he was about 100 years old. He didn't consider his own body when he was 70 years old. He received the promise at 70, and he didn't really walk into it its reality, its manifestation until he was 100 years old, right? Now, being not weak in faith, he considered not his own body now dead when he was yet 100 years old, 30 years later, after having received the promise, right? Neither yet the deadness of Sarah's womb. Sarah's womb was dead. There was nothing in there that was fertile, right? She was dead, right? He staggered not at the promises of Yahuah through unbelief. Yahuah made a promise to Abraham, and Abraham did not stagger. He did not waver. He was not like a wave of the sea that is tossed and driven, of which Yahuah said, let not that man think that he shall receive anything from Yahuah. Right? Because the double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You can't be having faith in Emunah when you are 1 minute and the next minute you don't have Emunah. 1 minute you have Emunah, the next minute you don't have Emunah. You ain't going to receive nothing from Yahuah. Abraham staggered not at the promises of Yahuah through unbelief. He didn't waver. He didn't waver in his belief. He says he staggered not at the promises of Yahuah through unbelief, but was strong in faith, giving glory to Yahuah, being fully persuaded that what he had promised he was well able to perform. Abraham, Emunah, he was justified by Yahuah because he believed. Not because he believed in a Torah, but because he believed in the word of the man who gave the Torah. He believed in the Yahuah that gave the Torah. He is not a man that he should lie, not Yahuah. He ain't the son of man that he should repent, not Yahuah, right? Neither Yahusha, right? He says, and therefore it was imputed unto him for righteousness. Abraham's faith in Yahuah was what justified him before Yahuah. Abraham believed that Yahuah was going to keep his promise. He says, but for us also to whom it shall be imputed, right? If we believe. See, I believe that Yahuah sent Yahusha. I believe Yahusha was the Torah made flesh. I believe that Yahusha was that word that was in the beginning with Yahuah. That was Yahuah. I believe Yahusha was that Torah. I believe when Yahusha said that me and the Father are one, he meant that they are one. I believe when Yahusha said, when you shall receive power, after that the Ruach Ha'Qodesh has come upon you, and you will be my witnesses. I believe that. I believe the only way that I can do this that I do right now is because I've received the Ruach Ha'Qodesh that has empowered me to be the witness. I believe this. I have emunah in this. I don't stagger at this. I don't come to you staggering at Yahuwah's word. Yahuwah's word is sure. I'm confident in what Yahuwah says. I am fully persuaded that what Yahuwah has said, he will perform. He says, but for us also to whom it shall be imputed if we believe on him that raised Yahusha. We got to believe Yahuwah. We got to believe that Yahuwah raised Yahusha. We got to believe that Yahuwah raised Yahusha by the power of the Ruach Ha'Qodesh and raised them having the keys to death and hell. Having raised him because he became a propitiation. He became the mediator between Yahuwah and Yahuwah's firstborn. He was the only begotten of Yahuwah, the mediator of Yahuwah and Yahuwah's firstborn. Because the covenant was established with Yahuwah's firstborn. He chose them from out all the people. But you know what? He also said, listen, You gonna go to the Gentiles as well. Yahusha, he didn't go to the Gentiles. Yahusha's mission was to restore the nation. Yahusha's witness was to restore the nation. And because that's why he said, I came to my own, came to his people. He told a woman who was a Canaanite woman who was begging him, Yahusha, my daughter's grievously vexed with the devil. I need you to deliver her, Yahusha. The disciple said, this woman's calling you. You know, she's calling you. Turn her away. Yahusha said, listen, woman, what do I got to do with you? Why are you calling me? What am I? I'm not here for you. I've come for the lost sheep of Yasharal. Yeah, but I need you. I can't give the children's bread over to the dogs. Listen, Yahusha, I know I'm a dog. I know I'm a Canaanite. I know I'm not Yahudim. But listen, I need a crumb. I need the crumbs to fall from the master's table. Yahusha said, be it unto you even as. Yahusha said, I've come for the lost sheep of Yasharal. He granted her what she needed. But he didn't divert from his mission. Does that mean that Yahusha didn't love the Gentiles? No, because if he didn't love the Gentiles, he wouldn't send Yeshaul to go to the Gentiles. He would have never sent Peter and the 6 men that he took with him to Cornelius's house and witnessed the same infilling of the Ruach Ha'Qodesh that they had with these Gentiles. Listen, Yahushua just was fulfilling a promise that Yahuah made with Abraham of his seed, Yaakov. And again, in the kingdom of Yahuah, I'm a Hebrew of Hebrews. I have Yahuah's Ruach Ha'Qodesh. I bear the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. In the kingdom of Yahuah, I am Yahudim. I don't know what capacity I'm going to fulfill, but I know one thing I know. Yahuah has called me to be great in the kingdom. Listen, I'm Yahudim and I know who I am. I know that I'm established in this witness through faith and Emunah and the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. Listen. Therefore, being justified by faith, we have peace with the Lord through our Adonai Yahusha. You know what, Yahuah? We weren't at peace with Yahuah. Hebrews, you weren't at peace with Yahuah. You were yet in your sins. That's why you experienced tribulation that was unlike anything that was ever experienced before. Yahuah wasn't at peace with you. Yahuah rained his judgment on you. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He rained his judgment on you. You couldn't escape it. We didn't have peace with Yahuah. That's why Yahuah knows that there's only going to be a remnant that's going to be established in this peace. They're going to still be Yahuah. They're going to still be Yahudims that are gathered. There's going to be some people. There's going to be a lot of people that are Hebrew. There's going to be a lot of people that are non-Hebrew. But we didn't have peace. You see, I got peace. Because I've been justified by faith in Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. So I've been justified by faith through Adonai Yahusha Ha'Mashiach. What does that mean? Right? That means that by whom also we have access by faith into this grace. Through Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. My emunah in him has justified me. right? He has removed my sin consciousness. I am just as if I have not sinned. That 1344 says. I am on the right path without losing my way. I am established in the right way, not having lost my way. By whom also we have access? By emunah. Right? Because, see, we justified by emunah. And because we have peace with Yahuah. I have peace with Yahuah. Yahuah ain't angry with me no more. Listen, Brew, listen. Okay, check this out. I want you to understand something now, right? I want you to understand something, Brew, right? Just because you woke up, right, don't change the fact that Yahuah is still mad at you if you haven't returned to the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, because he's still mad at you. He sent the awakening to you so that you could turn to Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. But if you don't turn to Yahushua Ha'Mashiach and emunah, he's still mad at you. You run around here talking about Torah only, Tanakh only. You talking about Yahushua is not the son of Elu, he's the son of Yosef. You run around here talking crazy stuff, and you saying you the people of Yahuah. No, you ain't the people of Yahuah, because the people of Yahuah are those who receive the witness of Yahushua Mashiach, first and foremost, right? And secondly, you ain't the people of Yahuah because you don't have peace with Yahuah. You don't have peace with Yahuah. In order to have peace with Yahuah, you have to be justified by the witness of Yahushua Mashiach. You have to receive the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, the water and the blood. He's still mad at you. He's still angry with you. You talking about you going over to the land. Go to the land, establish businesses, and connect with your ancestral Ruachs. You dead. He's still mad at you. You know you the people. You know you the people. He's still mad at you because you haven't been justified. You haven't been justified. You haven't received the peace that comes through Yahushua Hamashiach's witness. See, because when that blood was sprinkled in the ROMAIYM by Yahuah, right? And Yahuah was there to witnesses, Yahuah says, I'm not mad at those who receive your witness. I cease to be mad at them. I cease to be angry with them. I'm at peace with them. Yahushua said, well, Yahuah, we have to send them the Ruach Ha'Qodesh to establish me and you in them. Because without the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, they ain't going to be established. He says, we'll send the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Right? Because the Ruach Ha'Qodesh is going to give them the capacity to love. It's going to lead them and guide them in true truth. It's going to establish them in this witness. They are going to be able to walk on the right path without losing their way. Hallelujah. Y'all don't hear me. Listen. We have access into this by emunah. You gotta have faith in this grace. Listen, we stand and rejoice in our secured hope. The hope is what? The promise. The word of Yahuwah's promise. The word is that he has a kingdom that he is established in us, that he is going to manifest, and we are going to be a part of that kingdom. Excuse me, that's the promise. This Yeshua, this salvation, it's the promise, right? He says, we have, he says, by whom also we have access by imunah to this grace. We have access. Right? We've received an inheritance. We have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, which is a seal, which is the earnest. Right? We have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, which keeps us. Right? Wherein we stand and rejoice in the secure word of the glory of Elohiym. We rest in the secure glory, right, of Yahuah, right? That word glory is in the Greek.
Strong's G 1391. Doxa.
Doxa, right? It means opinion, judgment, view. Let me see what the etymology of that word means. It means the etymology of the word.
Strong's G 1380. Dakeo.
Rakeo. To be of opinion, to think, suppose, to see, to be account, to repute. It seems good to see. It seems good to please. All right, so the glory is glorious, honor, praise, dignity, right? A thing belonging to Elohiym. Majesty, right, as belonging to Yahuah, right? So we have hope in the things that belong to Yahuah, the kingdom of Yahuah, the Ruach Ha'Qodesh of Yahuah. Everything that Yahuah has is ours by inheritance. We look to this with secured hope, right? And not only so also, but we glory in tribulation. Right? Now, tribulation is designed to do something. Right? Tribulation. Let's look at the word tribulation.
Strong's G 2347. Thlipsis.
Thlipsis, 2347. Let me look that one up. 23. 2347. 24. Okay, I got it here. Okay, it means, in the Greek, it means pressure or pressuring. Pressure together, pressure, right? Affliction, right? So, the Hebrew word is, there's three Hebrew words. 3906, lahat. It means to squeeze. Pressure being exerted either physically or emotionally. Pressure, squeeze, right? 6040 is ana, to cause persistent suffering, pain, or distress, tribulation, right? And the last one is 6869, tara, which means persecution, to agitate mentally or spiritually, worry, to disturb or disturb. All of these are a reflection of tribulation. Anything that puts pressure, squeezes, right, that presents persistent suffering or distress, right, or that is agitating to you mentally or spiritually, they are tribulations. So, you say to yourself, what benefit is there in Yahuah squeezing me? What benefit is there in Yahuah putting pressure on me, exerting this physical, emotional pressure on me, this pain, this distress, right? What is the benefit to it? Well, knowing that tribulation works. It works. Says who? Says Yahuah. It works. Tribulation, it works. It works patience. Let's look at that word patience, right? Right. The word patience.
Strong's G 5281. Upamane.
Upane.
Upamane.
Upamane. It's being steadfast. Consistency. Endurance. Because see, listen. Yahuah has to squeeze you. He has to put pressure on you in order to keep you before him, seeking him, right? Praying and fasting, praying in the Ruach, fasting in the Ruach, seeking him in his word, constantly doing those things that are going to cause the release of the pressure. And these things are what he's using to cause you to endure to the end. Listen, if Yahuah didn't put pressure on us, we who have received the witness, we who are established in this truth, right? Didn't put pressure on us to pray, pressure on us to fast, pressure on him to seek his face, pressure on us to pray in the Ruach, and to pray with our understanding, to sing in the Ruach, sing with our understanding. Listen, he gives us tribulation in order for us to understand that in this witness, we are going to have to endure. We're going to have to endure, and what we do is we seek him more. We fast more. We pray more. We meditate more. That's why tribulation works. It works. It equips you. It equips you with what you need in the Ruach Ha'Qodesh to get the job done. And see, patience teaches you experience. See, because in the tribulation, you learn through patiently seeking Yahuah. You learn through patiently praying and fasting and enduring, right? You learn, right? And you gain experience. See, there's something to be said about tribulation and patience and how you get experience. An experience, right, in Yahuah. Experience and what it takes to overcome in tribulation. Experience and what it takes to endure this race. Because it's a race of endurance. It's got to endure to the end. And Yahuah puts the squeeze on you. Right? He puts the squeeze on you. He puts pressure. He exerts pressure. Emotionally and physical pressure. He puts pressure on your body to remind you how you need to continue to fast and pray and seek him, right? In Ruach and with your understanding. He puts pressure on you emotionally, you know, with what people say and how they do and how you receive and perceive it, and you know how you get discouraged. He does that so that you would develop an experience of enduring growth, right? What solidifies you in this hope, this glory, this enduring hope. See, because hope makes not ashamed, right? Because being secured in what Yahuah says won't make you ashamed, because listen, Yahuah is going to do exactly what he says he's going to do. If Yahuah is putting pressure on you, if Yahuah is squeezing you, if Yahuah is causing affliction, right, or you experiencing persistent pain or distress, it is designed to get you to a place where in patience you establish this experience, and this experience, listen, it makes the hope everything. And see, you ain't got to worry about the hope because you're secured in what Yahuah said. You're secured in the word, right? See, in hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of Yahuah is shed abroad in our hearts. By what? The Ruach Ha'Qodesh. See, that's why Yahushua told his disciples, listen, I want you to love me. If you love me, you'll keep my commandments. See, because Yahushua was talking about after having received the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, you're going to demonstrate your love for me in obedience to keeping Torah. Keeping commandments. You're going to demonstrate your love for me. I demonstrated the love I had to the Father by obeying his word. All right? And in this process, Yahuah, by the Ruach HaQodesh, is going to allow you to experience pressure. See, in the Ruach HaQodesh, you can go to praying in the Ruach. You can go to singing in the Ruach. Listen. You can go to calling on Yahuah in the Ruach HaQodesh. And you who are the circumcision of Yahuah, the children of Yahuah, listen, he going to move on your behalf because he has a hope that is established for you. And you know it. He says, shed abroad in our hearts by the Ruach HaQodesh, which he has given us. God, the Ruach HaQodesh. You got to receive the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. Because you got to be justified. And the only way to be justified is through faith and emunah in Yahushua's blood, water, and baptism. In the Ruach HaQodesh. It's the only way. Otherwise, you ain't got peace with Yahuah. I don't care what you think. You may think you got peace, but you ain't got no peace with you. Because you can't be justified by the law. You got to be justified by the sacrifice of blood. Shedding of blood. Excuse me. Without shedding of blood, there's no forgiveness of sins. You got to understand that. You got to understand that. You got to receive that witness. You got to know it. For scarcely for a righteous man will one die. No, I skipped one. For when we were yet without strength, we were without strength. And he wasn't talking about physical strength, right? He ain't talking about physical strength, right? That word strength in the Hebrew or the Greek.
Strong's G 772. Asthenes.
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 Asthenes, when we were feeble. When we were infirm, right? We were feeble when we was infirm. Let me see if I got it. 777. Let me see if I got it. Yes, 772. The word weak in the Hebrew, 772 is the Greek. The Hebrew is 6041. Ana. It means afflicted. Right? When we were suffering affliction, right? When we the cause of persistent suffering, pain or distress, right? Which we were without Hamashiach. Yeah. See, we were without Hamashiach. Yeah, we was brought over from transatlantic slave trade. We was without Hamashiach. Yeah, when we were kicked out of Jerusalem, when we were the temple was destroyed. Look, we were without strength, and we have been without strength ever since, until we have received the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. We, who are Hebrews in much and every way, we who have received this witness and who have been established in this truth. We have been given this Yeshua. Right? See, though we suffer distress and pressure, that's because Yahuah in this witness is doing this to allow us to be established, to cause us to be strengthened, to cause us to have patience, to cause us to endure, right? That's this witness. That's what it is. And it is given to us for this purpose, right? So when we were without it, he gave Yahusha to us in Emunah, gave us the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. And it doesn't mean that he gonna not allow pressure to continue to come. Does not mean we ain't gonna be afflicted. It does not mean we ain't gonna suffer something. But this is what we have now is the hope that what Yahusha has provided for us in his Yeshua as an eternal hope. Because we were without hope. We were without hope. We were without hope. He said, listen, for when we were without strength in due time, Hamashiach died for the ungodly. Because it's a timing thing. It's a timing thing. Just like the awakening is a timing thing. Yahuah has awakened the nation as a timing event, right? With the objective of us recognizing who we are and turning to faith in Yahushua Ha'Mashiach and become the quickened Yahudim that are scattered, right? That he is going to gather because we've received the witness, right? He's no longer angry with us anymore. We understood now that why he was angry. That's the awakening. We understood that he was angry, that our forefathers brought this upon us and we were afflicted. We understand it now. We understand it now, right? So, because it was in due time. It wasn't going. Listen, Yahuah filled me with his Ruach Ha'Qodesh. Shoot, I don't know, when I was 13, I think it was 13, 12, 13. He filled me with his Ruach Ha'Qodesh, right? And throughout my life, he has demonstrated through signs following me that the Ruach Ha'Qodesh is in me and with me. But it ain't until this time that he has raised me up to declare his Besorah and his Torah of truth to those who have an ear to hear, right? But it was still the fullness of his time, right? Says, so for scarcely, now Yahusha died for the nation, right? He died for the nation first, right? And to the Gentiles, the Yahudim, those who are grafted in, right? For scarcely, for a righteous man will one die. Listen, some people will just, look, you know he's a good man and you're going to die for him, right? Scarcely, right? Yet pre-adventure for a good man, right? Some would even dare to die. See somebody doing something good and you know that you can protect them with your life? Yeah, scarcely, right? Would dare to die. But Yahuah commended his love toward us, and that while we were yet sinners. So Hebrew, you recognize you are awakened, but you're still a sinner. You know you're the people, but you're still a sinner. You know Yahuwah's people, but you're still a sinner, right? You're still a sinner. You still don't belong to Yahuwah, right? Oh, but I'm a Hebrew. Yeah, okay, but you're a sinner. A sinner that is outside of the family of Yahuwah by virtue of his sin. You can't get into the kingdom because sin ain't a sin. You can't get into the kingdom with sin. You have the sin consciousness still on you. You could smell sin consciousness on you. But Yahuwah commanded his love toward us, and that while we were yet sinners, Yahusha died for us. Hamashiach died for us. Hamashiach died for us, right? He said, much more than being now justified. Now the tides have changed. We who have received the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach, look, we have peace with Yahuwah. Because Yahusha's blood cleansed us from all our sins. We justified now. We have peace with Yahuwah. Yeah, we gonna get some pressure. Yeah, he gonna squeeze us. Yeah, we gonna feel pain physically and spiritually and emotionally. And we're going to go through some things, but the hope is already established in the kingdom of Yahuwah. It's come. We understand, like Abraham. We ain't staggering at the promises of Yahuwah through unbelief, but we strong in Emunah. We fully persuaded that what Yahuwah's promised, he gonna do. We bear this witness. We ain't sinners no more. We ain't sinners no more. We don't have sin consciousness. If you have received the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach and Emunah, and the blood of Yahusha cleanses you from all sins, and you have asked Yahusha for his Ruach Ha'Qodesh, and you have received his Ruach Ha'Qodesh in Emunah, right? Then you're no longer a sinner. When we were yet sinners, Hamashiach died for us, right? Right? He died for us. He says, and much more than being now justified by what? His blood. Listen, you have to understand, bro, I'm going to keep pounding it in. You lost unless you have a sacrifice. It's not enough to be awakened to who you are as a people. You can't just be woke. You can't just ride on the woke train. The woke train ain't gonna get you into the kingdom. You got to ride the quicken train. You got to ride the train that has provided a high priest, a sacrificial offering that has keys and keeps to death and hell, has dominion, who has a tabernacle to go into in the Shamayim, who can go into the holies of holies because he is a high priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. And Yahuah himself is on the inside, having received the sacrifice and the sprinkling of his blood. Listen. You got to receive the blood, because that blood is the justification. You have to receive the blood. The blood is the justification. Much more than being now justified, having peace with Yahuah because of Yahusha's blood. See, Yahuah had to say, Yahusha, I'm satisfied with your blood for your brethren and for the world, because it was for your brethren, but you know, excuse me, it's for who all that will receive the witness. And I'm no longer angry at them who receive the witness. I'm mad at the wicked every day. Yahuah, I give you praise. I thank you for the blood of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. I praise you that you are not angry with me. I give you praise. I give you praise that I am no longer a sinner. I give you praise. I give you praise that the consciousness of sin has been removed from me. I give you praise that I've received the blood, the water, and the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. I thank you for the Ruach Ha'Qodesh that gives me the capacity to love. You have shed abroad in me your love. By the Ruach Ha'Qodesh, the Ruach Ha'Qodesh of truth, I give you praise. Listen, man of Yah, listen. Much more than being now justified. You justified now, right? By what? His blood. You're justified by his blood. You're justified by his blood. You're justified by the blood of Yahusha. We shall be saved from wrath. Through him. Yahuah is mad at the wicked every day. Yahuah is mad at sinners every day. Yahuah is angry with the wicked every day. Yahuah is angry with sinners every day. There's not a day that don't go by that Yahuah ain't mad or angry at the sinner. Right? But those who have been justified, those who have received the peace of Yahuah that passes all understanding, right? That peace that says Yahuah has cleansed my consciousness from sin, right? He has given me his Ruach HaQodesh, his love is shed abroad in my heart. And not only that, he has given me dunamos, exousia, power, authority. He has given me what I need to be a superhero. Oh, yes. I can lay hands on the sick and they recover. Yeah, I can cast out devils. I can speak with new tongues. I can take up serpents. If I drink any deadly thing, it won't hurt me. Lay hands on the sick. Listen, I'm a superhero. Yeah. I am Yaakov Yahudah Gaal. I am the manifestation of what my ancestors did by the Ruach HaQodesh. Because I believe it. I believe he has given me the spirit of power and might. I believe the Ruach of Yahuah rests upon me. The Ruach of wisdom and understanding, the Ruach counsel, the Ruach of might, the Ruach of knowledge and the fear of Yahuah. I believe it. For if then we are enemies, if when we were enemies, look, bro, you're an enemy of Yahuah. If you haven't received the witness, you're an enemy of Yahuah if you haven't received the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. Hebrew, circumcised or uncircumcised Hebrew. If you're uncircumcised Hebrew, then you need to be a circumcised Hebrew, because that was a requirement of Torah throughout your generation. Okay, so you got to get circumcised. You got to keep the letter of the law, which you ain't going to do. Which means that you're going to have a conscious sacrifice for sin, which you ain't going to find. Because Yahushua satisfied the requirement as a high priest. He satisfied the requirement as a lamb. And I'm going to keep saying this over and over and over again, because faith cometh by hearing and hearing by the word. So I'm going to keep saying the same thing over and over again, and you're going to eventually hear it. You got to understand. You got to have a sacrifice. After shedding blood, there's no forgiveness of sins. You got to have a sacrifice. You got to have a sacrifice. And you got to receive this in Emunah. You got to receive the word that I'm giving you in Emunah. You got to receive it 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 in Emunah. For if, when we were enemies, we were hostile, diabolical lawbreakers, not keeping Yahuwah's covenant, and Deuteronomy 31:16, and Yahuwah said unto Moshe, behold, thou shalt sleep with thy father, and these people will rise up and go a-whoring after other elves of the strangers of the land, whither they go to be among them, and will forsake me and break my covenant, which I have made with them, and my anger shall be kindled against him in that day, because we are enemies. Right? That day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, because we profaned his name. Right? And they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them. Yeah, the Spanish Inquisition, where they was killing Hebrews, right, because of the Torah and not keeping the Catholic Sabbath, Saturday or Sunday. You know, yeah. They persecuted them as witches because they weren't keeping Yahuwah's Torah. They were keeping Yahuwah's Torah, and they weren't keeping the commandments, right? When they took their kids away, they were just ruthless, right? Ruthless. And then you had us scattered through the west coast of Africa, and then you had the French and the British come in and snatch up the Igbo land in South Africa and run these people off their land and take it for themselves. Yeah. Then you had that Belgian Leopold come in, hacking off our people's arms and legs, putting us on display because he wanted the rubber. And we were taking on slave ships. We were taking on slave ships, right? We were taken by the Ashkenaz slave shippers. We were taken by the Islamic slave traders, right? We were persecuted. Our men were castrated, right? Our women were used and experimented on. Our Our children were fed to gators, right? All of these atrocities. We were hung on trees, atrocities, burned at the stake, burned, hanging from a tree. Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them. Right? Yeah, we was free slaves. You know, they took our land, and they bombed our cities, and they created these what you call them, these people that would gather the slaves. They turned around and made them their law enforcement. Yeah. And modern day marshals, and put us in slavery, back in chains, mass incarceration. He says, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, are not these evils come upon us, because our Yahuah is not among us? And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they shall have wrought, and that they turn to other Yahuahs. Listen, we got what we deserved. The Yahuah of the universe chose Yaakov to be a people from among the people, to give them his Torah, and they didn't keep it. And he delivered them on many cases, but he just got tired. He said, okay, I'm going to give him my son. I'm going to give him my son, and he's going to set it all straight. They rebelled against the Son. But as many as received him, to them he gave power to be the sons of Yahuah, even them to believe on his name. I truly believe I'm the descendants of those who believed on the name of Yahuah. Listen. I believe that I'm connected to the Yahudim that received the witness of Yahusha Ha'Mashiach, right? Somehow, some way, that seed has been established in me. I believe that. I believe that's a righteous generation, a righteous seed, or a righteousness that has been birthed in this generation, in Yahuah's. He says, for if when you were enemies, we were enemies. We were enemies of Yahuah. Yahudim first, and the Gentiles. Then the Gentiles. We profaned his name. The Gentiles profaned his name. We all were enemies of Yahuah. Listen, don't think because you Hebrew you weren't an enemy of Yahuah. You done lost your mind. Listen, sin makes you an enemy of Yahuah. Sin. We all have sinned, right? Some of us have been made free from sin because of the righteousness of Yahusha Ha'Mashiach and the witness of Yahuah. He's given us this Ruach Ha'Qodesh. We don't sin no more. Sin don't reign in our mortal bodies. I have the Ruach Ha'Qodesh. I'm an El. I'm supernatural. I have a treasure, an earthen vessel. You has made me an El. I am Yahudah. Nah, I ain't here to be worshipped. No, but he's giving me his Ruach HaQodesh. He's giving me the power to get the job done whenever I need it, and whenever he needs me to use it, it's available. See, you got to believe that in Emunah. You got to understand this justification. But when we were enemies, we were reconciled. Reconciled. See now, the ministry of reconciliation, reconciled, is
Strong's G 2644. Katalasso.
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 So, to change, to exchange as coins or equivalent of value, to reconcile, return to favor, be reconciled to one, to receive a favor. Okay, so let's look, let me see. Let's look at G2644. G26. G2644. Right. All right, let me see this. From the etymology of the word. Down, front, throughout, according, along. Okay, so to reconcile, let's look at it. Let's do this. Let me get a definition for this word reconcile. I'm going somewhere with this. So Paul here is he's talking to Yahudim, and he's talking to the Gentiles, right? Right? But when you look at the word reconcile, it's the restoring, right? It is to restore friendly relationships between, right? To cause to coexist in harmony, to make or to show to be compatible, right? To make one account consistent with another, especially by following for transactions begun, but not yet completed. Transaction that was begun was the original covenant that was established in Abraham, right? That covenant that was sealed with circumcision, right? A covenant that included a priesthood that was flawed, right? People who were in and out of relationship with Yahuah to the point where ultimately it got to the place where Yahuah had casted us away. Right? So, if he has reconciled us, right? Reconciled us, right? He has reconciled us, then we were enemies. He's talking about Hebrews. Because Gentiles were never friends. They were always enemies, right? But he reconciled us to Elul by the death of his son, much more being reconciled, we shall be saved by his life. Because Yahushua died for our sins, but he's alive because Yahuwah raised him, and because Yahuwah raised him, he raised us, right? You have he quickened. He made us alive together with Hamashiach. He raised us from the dead. We were dead in our trespasses and sins. We are seated in heavenly places in Hamashiach. We have the witness of Yahuwah and Yahusha, right? We have been saved through his witness, right? Not only so, but we also joy in Elul through our Adonai Yahusha Ha'Mashiach, by whom we have now received atonement. Yahushua was raised from the dead. This is the process. You got to be able to see the process. We're justified by the blood. We were enemies to Yahuwah, but he reconciled us. How did he reconcile? He reconciled us through his blood. You see, because he was dead, right? It says by the death of Yahusha, right? He died for us, right? Much more being reconciled because he was saved. We were saved. Yahuah raised him from the dead. We were raised from the dead. We are saved by his life. And not only so, right? Not only so, but we also joy in Elohiym through our Adonai Yahusha Ha'Mashiach, by whom we have received the atonement. Excuse me, man of Yahuah, woman of Yahuah, the word of Yahuah. This is the result of being justified by the witness of Yahushua Ha'Mashiach. You are at peace with Yahuah. He ain't angry with you no more. He was angry with you, right? But Yahusha, in your receiving of the witness, changed all that. Because you received the witness of Yahusha, it changed all of that. You are now in his relationship with Yahuah, and you are his. It changed all of it if you received the witness. If you haven't received the witness, he's still angry with you. With your Torah, your Tanakh, and your only doctrine. He's still angry with you. He's still angry with you. You run around here talking about your Yosef is the biological father of Yahusha. You bumped your head. Yeah, he's still angry with you. And he's going to be angry with you until you receive the witness. We're going to stop here at the 11th verse of the 5th chapter. Yahuah, I give you praise for your word. For your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my pathway. The entrance of thy word gives light, it gives understanding to the simple. I give you praise, and I thank you that my ways are cleansed because I take heed to your Torah. Yahuah, I praise you for your Ruach Ha'Qodesh speaking through me. I could never say, do, or even conceive of the things that you've said if it were not for your Ruach Ha'Qodesh. For the Ruach of Yahuah, the Ruach of wisdom and understanding, the Ruach of counsel, the might, the Ruach of knowledge and fear of Yahuah are in me. The Ruach of wisdom and revelation. You have created this in me. I thank you for you and Yahusha in me. Yahuah, I pray that they would receive this word in the name of Yahushua Mashiach and Emunah and be established in the truth of it. I give you praise. In Yahusha's name, let the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Yahuah, my strength and my redeemer. Listen, man of Yah, woman of Yah, that's it. That's all we got for today. And I pray that Yahuwah's word would be quickened in you, made alive in you, and that you would receive and bear witness to what Yahuwah's word says. So that, and I say, man of Yah, woman of Yah, called to greatness, woman of Yahuah, beautifully and wonderfully made, that Yahuwah's favored you. Be blessed. Be led by the Ruach HaQodesh. Walk in this witness. Understand that Yahuah may squeeze you a little bit. Understand Yahuah may put pressure on you. Right? But it's okay. Because he's developing patience in you. Right? And that patience is going to get you your experience. And in the end, it's going to establish the hope, the secureness, and the word of Yahuah that you believe. Yeah, this glory, this kingdom that you're going to be a part of. Yes. So, with that, I say, Shalom. Shalom and Shalom. Be blessed.
Torah Garden, speaking the absolute truth. Torah